guys, Tomboy601, and today we have a review of the Tier 4 Myogi, the all-new Japanese battle cruiser, but really it's a battleship in the game, and, well, I have some thoughts on it. It's an interesting ship, for sure. Just to get the disclosures out of the way, because I am one of the community contributors, Wargaming did gift this ship to me for review purposes. That's why we are doing the review. In the review, we're going to be covering my commander build, the mod slots, the overall build of the vessel, the stats, and then we're going to be showing off a game in it. So if that sounds interesting to you, hit that like button down below, hit the subscribe button, because we do videos like this all the time, and just stay tuned. So first things first, let's go ahead and dive on in to the commander with the Myogi. And well, this one's gonna be a little bit different because usually I'm all about that Kirishima, that Takagi, that all about the dispersion accuracy, but because of the way this ship plays, I've actually gone with Arthas the Cold. Yeah, we're using a Warhammer commander on this baby because, well, you have to try something to make this thing sing, or else it's a bad ship. So, inspirations we're running are Charles Madden in Jersey Swirsky. His base trait is Blind Rage. It's going to boost the damage done by your ship by 20% when the catapult fighter is up, and it's going to reduce the duration of the catapult fighter by 72%. Then the other traits we're using is Brawler, Avatars of Slaughter, which boosts the ship's shell damage, decreases incoming damage to your Citadel, but boosts damage to your extremities, so things are more likely to break. Then we have Firefighter, Reaching Out XXL, and Will to Rebuild, and that is the build we have for the ship. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mod slots. There is only one, so we are running Aiming System Mod 1. I feel like it's the only one you could really kind of run with on this and make any sense. Then if we want to go ahead and take a look at those consumables, we do have 3 consumables. The first one is the Damage Control Party. You know it, you love it. 6-second duration, 73.6-second reload time. You have the Repair Party, which is going to heal 335 damage per second with a duration of 19.6 seconds. It's going to reload in 80 seconds, and it's going to have 3 charges. And then we have the choice between the Catapult Fighter, the Spotter Plane, and the Enhanced Secondaries. Because of our build, we are running Catapult Fighter because it's going to give us that massive boost to our damage, which can be used to get some wonderful heavy hits on enemy ships. So that is the those are the base traits of the ship. Let's now go ahead and get into the stats. So Myogi, 45,700 hit points with an armor thickness between 6 and 305 millimeters. Let's go and take a look at that armor view, and boy oh boy is it, well, it's interesting. First things first, like the Congo, should give you a little history on the ship. Myogi was kind of a predecessor to Congo in the design stages, never really built. So like the Congo, it has 76 millimeter armor on the nose, has an icebreaker. Then it has 19 millimeter on the bow, 19 millimeter on the deck, and in the middle, it has lighter armor than the Congo at only 25 millimeters. And, well, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Tommy, all of that's going to get real easily penned by some battleship guns. And you are absolutely correct. This ship does not like being fired at by battleship guns. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Citadel of the vessel. And, well, it is a funny looking Citadel, and it does sit slightly above the water. So it also kind of doesn't do too well when having to be protected, though it does have a turtleback. So there is that for some close quarters protection. So that is the armor. Let's get into the rest of the stats. One of the highlights of the vessel is its torpedo reduction, 34%, so a very torpedo reducing sort of ship. Main battery, only 3 two-barreled 356 millimeter guns, with the 2 guns being at the rear of the ship. A lot of times battleships are like, oh, you put the guns up front, you go nose in. Not with the Myogi. That strategy will not work with Myogi. Firing range 12.8 kilometers with a reload time of 26.3 seconds, and a shell sprint of 13.7. 180 time on those guns, fairly quick at 36 seconds. HE damage, 6,327. We're going to get some weird numbers here because of Arthas's traits, giving you a DPM of 86,680. Chance of fire is going to be at 25%. AP damage is going to be 11,100 damage, giving you a DPM of 152,070. Secondaries, well, you're going to have two sets of secondaries, 6 one-barreled 120 millimeters firing HE, and 16 one-barreled 152 millimeters firing AP. Both are going to have a range of 4.2 kilometers. Those 120s, they're going to be reloading in 6 seconds and doing 2,000 damage and going to have an 8% chance to set fire. Those 152s, they're going to have a 10-second reload. They're going to do 2,900 damage, and because, well, they're AP, they're not going to be having any chance to set fire. Anti-aircraft armament. It's poor. And those planes that you're going to run into a ton at Tier 4 will attack you. 4.5 kilometer range. Minimum damage is going to be 15 damage per second and a maximum damage of only 55 damage per second. So really, it comes in and it hurts. Max speed of the vessel, 30 knots with a turning radius of 730 meters. Rudder shift time on the ship, 12.3 seconds. Concealment, detectability by sea is 12.6, by air 10.9, and when firing in smoke at 11.8. And with all that said, now let's go ahead and take a look at a game in this ship. Okay, so here we are on the map Big Race. Now, what I've been hearing, the scuttlebutt from my fellow CCs is, well, Myogi has not been one that they are enjoying, and I can totally understand why. This battleship is not a great battleship. Let's be clear on that up front. If you're looking for the next Giulio Cesare, start looking elsewhere, because Myogi is not that. What it is sort of that battle cruiser name that it was originally developed to be. It does play, if you play it more like a cruiser, it does find success. You just kind of have to play in this hybridized style. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to head towards the island, because that's what cruisers do. They head towards island cover. We want to get in island cover. So that's what we're going to do over here. We're going to kind of see who we can get in range of, because we're not running an accuracy commander, we are losing out on a good chunk of range, especially to our peers. So we do need to get up close, get in tight, and from there we can start to sort of have the successes that we can have. So good things about the ship. I think it is extremely maneuverable for a battleship. It turns in a very tight circle. Earlier I was in a game where it had 4 destroyers on each side, and I was dodging torps left and right just because of the ability for this thing to shift its weight. I ended up taking out 3 of the 4 enemy destroyers, and the last one got taken out by a carrier, but I damaged a good chunk of it. Like, it has its pluses, and the other plus is right there. The accuracy on the ship can be surprisingly good, and you will come to have to rely on that because, well, there's only the 6 guns, or the six barrels, the 3 guns. So if you're not accurate, if it isn't accurate, it starts to hurt real bad. But the ship does play very, very well. But as you can see, we've kind of taken up a mid position, one that you usually wouldn't see battleships in, one that like are more cruisers, because you'd be using the island cover, and that's just what we want to do here, because the ship, when I'm playing the ship, it reminded me, if you're a big Halo fan, if you played Halo 3, the mission The Ark, you arrive at this alien facility, and your ship, the Forward Onto Dawn, is like the smallest ship because it's the only human ship. It's a frigate compared to like these massive super carriers that your alien allies have. And there's a line of dialogue where it's like, hey, we need to find a safe landing site on the ground. It's a heavyweight fight up here, and Dawn doesn't have the tonnage to go many more rounds. And that is what Myogi feels like. It doesn't have the tonnage to stand toe-to-toe with other battleships, but if you play smart, you can do things like that, where you just wipe the floor, you wipe people out with dev strikes. And that's what Myogi is about. It has really good maneuverability, it has pretty decent speed, The gun layout is unique. It has great forward firing angles for a ship that has the gun layout that it does, but it also has a really good rear firing gun angles where you can play it kind of sailing away, right? That's the beauty of the kind of superposition that we have right here of the two guns on the rear. You can angle yourself out and be very effective with it. It just needs to be played correctly. Anyways, we took out those two ships right here. We can see the enemy frigate is starting to kind of push into middle. We want to get an eye on him. We're going to go ahead, get the gun starting to flip around the other way. And just keep an eye also on the enemy aircraft carrier. Of course, he is right at the edge of our range, so if we did try to take a shot at him, chances are we would end up the shells. He would be able to outrun our shells and get past our maximum range. So there's not even kind of worth it to take a shot at him as much as we would like to. But thankfully, this frigate is being there is an eye being kept on him. Sadly, our two cruisers have smelt the bait of that carrier, and like catnip are being drawn out of position. And if those battleships off that we're kind of looking at right now are paying attention, they could probably start exercising some effective crossfires. Anyways, we've switched over to HE, knowing that one, we are spotted and we are close proximity to a destroyer, and like the catnip of that aircraft carrier, we are calling the frigate with our siren song to come and engage us. Thankfully, our destroyer is also starting to spot the frigate. We're going to kind of just keep an eye on him because we know we should be able to make the call and be able to turn or slow down or whatever we need to do. He pops out. We're going to greet him with a nice salvo, get 3 shots there, speed up just a little, and then as he dies, realize maybe we should slow on down, turn on in, because here comes his torpedoes, and as they come in, slowly turn in, and thankfully we miss them all. Now we are starting to capture the ring, starting to get the points to accrue on our side. Thankfully, we are already up on ships. Now we just need to start getting up on the points, and we have a Gangut steaming in towards us. So what we're going to do is we are going to start using this island. Like I said, we want to play like a cruiser in this ship. We want to use island cover, and I know we're being spotted right now by an enemy aircraft, which is unfortunate, but as that drops off, we're going to be able to take up concealment right here, and that's exactly what we want to do. We're going to load HE just because Ganguts can be a little bit of a tough cookie to crack, so if we can get him to burn some of his limited repair parties, it will be effective. Or if he doesn't want to put out the fires, we can start ticking up some damage, and we can just go ahead and enjoy this time sitting behind this island because he can't see us. The one nice thing about playing a brawler style build when you still have accuracy on your side of the ship is you can sit at these relatively long-ish ranges that we are playing right here, still be able to hit the shots, but because you have that limited accuracy, you're kind of covering off what ships can actually see you. So while those other 2 battleships would have line of sight to us if our range could get out to them, because our guns don't range out that far, they can't see us even when we fire, so we are completely safe in being able to engage them. We did set another fire. He does currently have 2 going on him, and that's good for us because, well, that tells us he's not really in the mood to use those damage control parties, or they're totally out. He is going broadside to us, so we try the AP, don't see much success there, get a couple of shatters. Of course, he's not perfectly broadside, but broadside enough to where we should have been able to engage him. And you can see right here, that forward firing angles I was talking about, really respectable for a ship that has the majority of its guns on its rear. You know what I mean? Usually when you would see the rear turrets, you'd have to be turned out a little bit more to get them into the fight. Here, we're not getting it. It's definitely a lot easier than expected. Also, right now you can go ahead and see just how effective our anti-aircraft fire is. It is not great. It just isn't. But we are able to start swinging the guns around. Like I said, fairly respectable time on the gun traverse. It's a little bit quicker than all the other battleships at the tier, which is nice. Has some pretty agile guns to flip around, which does help it. Koenig ends up going down before we can even hit him. So now all of our attention is going to be over on this New York. And while we start to kind of hammer him down and and engage him in this session, or this match winds down, I'll go ahead and go over my final thoughts on Myogi. Is it a ship that I would spend money on? Probably not. No. Does it offer something unique at tier 4? Yes. I think it is a very different and a unique ship to come at tier 4. It is a different play style. But when you're down at tier 4, how often are you playing it? Probably not often. And if you're going to be buying a premium tier 4, what are the reasons you're going to be buying a tier 4? It's not going to be to make money. It's probably just going to be to do the weekly promotion orders. And if you are wanting to do the weekly promotion orders, well, I mean, there's definitely going to be more fun ships to play, right? You have the Kamikaze, which is available in the Firepower Edition. You got the Julius Cesare, which is a fantastic tier 4 battleship, probably one of the strongest. You have the Oklahoma, which was a free ship that is just super powerful. Like, you have a bunch of other ships that are going to be more fun, and also you're going to consistently win more, which is ultimately what you need to get those promotion orders. So is there really a reason to buy the Myogi from I want to win at this game reason? No. Is there a reason to buy the Myogi because it plays differently and it's a bit weird and it's a bit fun and maybe you're a collector? Yes. And as far as ships that aren't the best but are still fun, this ship does qualify in that realm. But do I think if I had to spend my hard-earned money, would I go out and buy it compared to something like Graf Spee, which is also, I think, a ship in that category of way more fun to play than it is the greatest ship on Earth? No, Graf Spee was better and more fun to play, but that's kind of where we are with this ship. Guys, if you liked the video, go and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.